All right, it's always weird doing a wrestling podcast when world events drastically outweigh what we do here. But I just want to say that terrorism sucks in a really simple way. We here at Slamcast uh, send out our condolences to anybody who has been affected by the tragedy that happened last Friday night in Paris, where 129 people were senselessly murdered for no reason, no good reason. There's no good reason to kill people, but to die when you go to a concert or trying to go to a football match or trying to go out is just dumb. It's dumb, and terrorism and religious extremism is super dumb. And we, yeah, it's sad. So, moment of silence for these people. And I wish I could say I had some better news after that, but unfortunately, I just decided to get all the shitty news that happened in wrestling out in one just. It's going to be a bitter pill to swallow this episode, but I think if you make it to the end, you're going to be rewarded with happiness and good times. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Slamcast. I am your host, Brendan Liggan. I am joined by Nick Horaceck and Leslie Joy, and we were also the wrestling world lost. I know I say this every time, but it has never rang truer than it has, except probably for Dusty, and yeah, a true giant and someone who was an absolute innovator of the craft and widely regarded as the best technical wrestler to ever lace up a pair of boots. Nick Bockwinkle passed away this week at the age of 80. Um, I mean, you talk about somebody who had an impact from the second they came into the business to now, because he's what he did back in the 1970s still resonates with people today. And when someone tries to do something that's sort of similar to it, that's also absolutely who they're given the nod to. Like Jericho said it best: his character that he was, where he's the best in the world at what he does, was Nick Bockwinkel. Ric Flair had a little bit of Nick Bockwinkel to him. Well, Ric Flair was Ric Flair. Yeah, just legend, legend in the true sense of the word, and a guy who's I guess you can kind of say like the last man, because those were to come up in those days in the 70s, in the territory days, especially in the AWA, where it was, you're in work in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly know it all too well. Those guys were tough as nails, and legit hard men. Um, that you just don't see. Last of a dying breed, absolutely, was Nick Bockwinkel.
Yeah. And here's a guy who a
Um,
lot of people may not give him the due he deserves. Because here, when people think greats from the 70s and 80s, they think Harley Race, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. While Hogan was the WWF guy of the 80s, Ric Flair was the NWA guy. Nick Bockwinkel was the AWA guy.
yeah, he was the guy. If you grew up from in Chicago, Minnesota, Iowa, Montana,
Yep.
all the way down to Texas, and just everybody who he worked with at that period of time says rates him among some of the best. And uh, yeah, I'm at a loss for words, because this one really hit home for me, because cerebral characters for me were always the ones that I gravitated, and he was really the first intellectual kind of thinking man's heel. He used
Yes.
the words, and yeah, the team with the combination of him and Heenan was just dynamite. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you look at his promo style. He like while Rick and like Hogan were very
Rick
bombastic.
got over exactly. Rick and Hogan got over on like charisma and just being their character. Nick Bockwinkle made you absolutely believe in everything he said. That this guy is a real intellectual jack, like an asshole. Like
Yeah,
he would absolutely could stretch you out in knots if he wanted to. Yeah, just
yeah,
like again, like Stu Hart, like those last of these like really just hard nosed Harley Race. I mean Harley Race is so I guess Harley Race is probably the last one now. But just hard edged dudes, real men's men. I know that term gets often bandied about in a joking term now, thanks to William Regal. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I did just watch a table for three, the King's Court, and they were making fun of him. They
of course.
mentioned it. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things where this has been a year where legends have just been dying off. It's like one
Uh,
of those years where it doesn't matter if it's wrestling, baseball, horror.
just year of death, man. Year of
Yeah.
death, and I don't even get me started on that. It's been a personal year of death for me too. But
All right.
yeah, man. So just kind of also secondary moment of silence goes out to the all the Bockwinkle family. Huge bucket of win. I mean, here's a guy because of the WWE Network whose legacy will live on forever because of the vast library of AWA tapes that they have, and he will influence wrestlers for generations to come because of this now, and he is now belongs to forever. Super duper cliche, but and I wish I could say I had something happy to follow after that, but again, bitter pills to swallow first. Get them all out of the way. We recently just passed a milestone anniversary, and I didn't. We kind of briefly touched on it last week, but I'll talk about it a little bit more this week. We just
Yeah.
passed the 10-year anniversary of the death of Eddie Guerrero, and that was a major like watershed moment in the history of the WWE because it really got the company to be more aware of the health and welfare of its performers. Because before then, it was still kind of the territory. Like you knew guys had a problem, but you just turned a blind eye to it as long as he wasn't showing up like Jeff Hardy, high out of his mind and a danger to himself and anybody else in the ring.
Yep.
You just kind of let it go. Eddie Guerrero's death was the real kind of wake up moment that hey, we have to make sure these guys
Mm-hmm.
are as well kept after as any other high level athlete because that's exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's sad that it took Eddie Guerrero's death to do that
Yeah.
because you talk about someone who was an all time great in the WWE and just in wrestling in general, just from what he came from to what he built himself up to
Mm-hmm.
be, just by his own sheer determination and talent. Um, he was not at all the prototypical, superstar that you would see. He was,
Oh no, he was a smaller guy. Here's
he
a
was
guy who
again, yeah, he
had
was
to, he
10,
came up. Well,
you
he
know,
came up in Mexico. He gets big exposure in WCW. He, along with Benoit, Malenko,
I
Jericho,
mean,
had to leave.
he comes from a line of he came from a line of wrestlers. He was a
Mhm.
third generation superstar. You know,
Yeah.
this is the Rock, or was he a third? Was his grandfather a wrestler? I shouldn't say that. Right?
Gory Guerrero, yeah.
Yeah,
Or was
okay,
it?
so yeah, third generation superstar. Uh,
No, wasn't Gory the-
yeah, just
But yeah, here's a guy who, like I say, he had to escape WCW to get away from that cruiserweight mentality. Where it's seen that, yeah, if you're a smaller guy, if you're labeled a cruiserweight, you're not going
I
to
mean the
be.
cruiserweight mentality, aka the Hulk Hogan ceiling.
Oh, yeah. And now,
Hulk Hogan NWO ceiling.
yeah. But here's a guy who I mean, when he died, I remember hearing about that. I'm like, what? That was really the first, wrestling death that hit
That
hard.
hit that hit hard because that was the first time a member of the roster had died since Owen Hart while they were
Right.
on the roster. I mean, Kurt Hennig
Right.
had died, but he wasn't. I don't think he was a part of. Was he on the roster at that point?
No, he was in LOL TNA.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Well, he wasn't exactly. So he wasn't on WWE television. So that
right.
was the first time
Yeah.
some a major part of the WWE roster had died since Owen Hart, and for it to happen in the way it did. I mean, we all knew he had his issues with substance abuse before that
Which
he
he
had worked,
beat.
which he beat, and
And you could tell he put a lot of pressure on himself. He blamed a lot of himself when SmackDown's ratings weren't as good when he was champion. He blamed himself on that, which it wasn't his fault. But he felt, as the WWE champion, when he won that title, No Way Out 04, that's a moment you really can't go back and not, tear up at, because that was a moment. When he finally ascended to the top of the mountain, he beat Brock Lesnar. He beat Brock Lesnar, you know, although Lesnar was on his way
yeah,
out, but that's another story.
well, it was kind of like an fu. I mean, not to take it away the moment from him. It was a big fu to Lesnar mostly.
Hmm.
Um,
But yeah, here's a guy who the charisma this guy had is, you know, through the
undeniable.
roof.
Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels level. Yeah,
And like Bockwinkle, here's another guy that has inspired, generations of wrestlers, notably Sasha Banks.
exactly. We've only yet to really see the people that were really truly inspired by Eddie Guerrero really uh, come to light. And believe me, I think that is somebody who, as the generations go on, we will always constantly be here brought up, especially certain with Latin American superstars.
Hmm.
Yeah, sad man. It was really sad. God, I wish I could say we had something positive to follow this, but it's
But
nice it's not somebody dead.
yeah, yes.
The
Oh,
death,
it's
the death, the death portion of the podcast is finally over, but we're kind of like not into good news either.
oh no, we're easing you into that. Like
Easing you in. This is like
not as, but not like
not like
Holly
but.
Holmes' foot
Oh,
into Ronda's face.
I mean, yeah, we talk about that towards the end before we go into our Survivor Series talk. But yeah, that's that. What I was going to talk about was WWE had to say goodbye to one of their coaches of the Performance Center and
He's an
noted
ass man. The ass
noted
man.
noted what was I going to call this? Noted
N-
gluteus enthusiast.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I was trying to find my words.
Hurts to
Uh,
laugh.
it hurts to laugh, but yeah, the Ass Man is now out as assistant coach or uh,
Hmm.
coach at the Performance Center on a kind of suspect circumstances too. I mean, when I first heard about this, like, was kind of a head scratcher. It really seems more of it's kind of a saving face kind of
Yeah.
firing more than
It's not like he's burned bridges, or
where it was where
it just seems like,
Bill DeMott's firing was clearly disciplinary
yep.
in saving face because he had done things and had a long history of
Yeah,
doing
and
things, and then finally these other things had come out, and now we have to fire you. If you hadn't read the story and didn't know already, don't participate on the amateur powerlifting circuit. Uh, Billy Gunn, aka Monty Kipsop, had been competing on the amateur powerlifting circuit and failed the test for having higher than normal testosterone rates, resulting in a 4-month ban from the sport.
mhm,
Uh, that test was 5 months ago.
yep,
He was fired in November.
yep. That test was back
Uh,
in fucking June. He's
Yeah.
fired now in November. So this was
Yeah,
an
I can't.
obvious, WWE just trying to save face. The last thing they need is Nancy Grace to go on TV and start taking more pot shots at wrestling because that's what the bitch does.
I just really just kind of really
Well,
seems
they
more like.
said they didn't even know he was doing this.
Yeah, I think that's
Right.
probably one of the things that got him in trouble because he probably
Yeah.
told him that he was participating in these events, no matter how minor they are. But this is a very Billy Gunn thing to do. Billy Gunn thinking that he doesn't have to do these things because he has a fairly good relationship with Triple H. Comes back maybe to bite on the ass. But
Pun
I think
intended.
Mr. Gunn, boop boop. Yeah, I didn't even realize I was going to say that. I made it funny.
God, it
Yeah.
hurts to laugh. Fucking hell, dude. Anyway, yeah, my Saturday night's really caught up with me, but that's besides the point now.
I will talk about somebody else's Saturday night, catching up with them later.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, I think this is more of a slap on the wrist kind of thing. I think Billy Gunn will find his way back to the Performance Center and work his way back into the company at some point in time. Within, he's not out. Look, the New Age Outlaws are going to go into the Hall of Fame at some point in time. So
Yep.
I think when that time comes, miraculously WWE will find a way to bury the hatchet, and he will be
Bring him
forgiven of
back.
all previous transgressions.
Yeah, it's just, the heat's gonna die down, people are gonna forget about it, and it's not like Billy Gunn is gonna be like Hulk Hogan and go on Good Morning America and continue to dig himself deeper. You know.
It's not like Billy Gunn, used several racial slurs and was videotaped having an affair with his friend's wife, but that's it's neither here
Yeah.
nor there.
Yep.
God, fucking Hulk Hogan.
Oh God. So yes.
Should we talk about it? I mean, it was a big deal this Saturday.
Oh boy.
Predicted here on this show, dare I say? No, I'm not going to take credit for calling this because I am still in a state of shock that it even happened. I have permanent Tony Hinchcliffe face. That's what it is. If you don't know if you've seen the pictures on Joe Rogan's Instagram of the golden pony Tony Hinchcliffe, just stunned disbelief at what happened. I think that's yeah. What's the guy? What was the guy? The Undertaker guy?
Ellis is his name.
Ellis, whatever before. He had a very name I can't pronounce right now off the top of my head. Yeah, he very
Macbeth or whatever. It's
can't remember it off the top of my head, but yeah, in Bay or something like that. Maybe I
whatever.
don't want to sound too bad. I'm horribly offending this guy, but yeah, that's kind of what Tony Hinchcliffe's face is, and that's kind of how the world was like. But not me, because see, I knew it was going to happen. You see, I knew it. You see, because I'm the genius. You see, no, I'm not.
Thank you, Lanny.
I don't think I could nearly rhyme as much as Lanny Poffo. I could try. I do. I did kind of have a lot of bass to my voice there too. I could try. Anyway, before I do terrible Lanny Poffo impressions. Yeah, I just think this is a weak female division finally catching up with Ronda Rousey, or someone who had the one thing that she hadn't really gone up against, and the one thing that could be her kryptonite, and that's someone who has lethal stand-up game. She really only mostly faced people that have kind of mixed backgrounds, and either when mostly a lot of wrestling. Um,
That's why I make me more excited for the rematch because
it does.
fluky ones can be a fluke, but if it happens on the rematch,
That's what it's going to be saying. Like this, if and I do believe it is going to happen. It's just going to take a while because Ronda said herself she is going to take some time off. I did hear an unconfirmed report from my man Stevie Wago, who is connected to all these MMA blogs and what have you, that Ronda did break her jaw in the fight.
Really?
I don't know if that's been confirmed or reported on any other site, but that's what he told me. I don't know if using Stevie Wago as a good source of as a competent
I don't
source.
know. Wago's kind of shady.
Yeah, I don't know. He could just been throwing us off, thinking that I might report it and go with it on the air. But
I wouldn't put it past
I wouldn't put it past him. He's a shifty cat, that Stevie Wago. But if it is true, I obviously don't think we're gonna see that rematch anytime soon. Holly Holm might not even be UFC Women's Bantamweight champion by the time that rematch is going to happen. Although it certainly puts her as a very, very interesting competitor going forward. I don't think she's going to be nearly the same level of viewing interest as Ronda does. Like, her next fight is probably not going to headline a pay-per-view. She might be a part of a pay-per-view card. She might headline or co-headline a UFC fight night on Fox Sports 1, but I don't see her getting a major a headlining spot at a key UFC pay-per-view, stadium pay-per-view.
I think you're right.
That I think that's the safest prediction I could ever possibly say on this show.
I think it is too.
I mean, I think UFC benefits from this either way, because if Ronda won, obviously more people are going to talk about Ronda. Ronda's great. Oh my God, Ronda is so awesome. If she loses now, you have everybody talking about what's happening next, and now you have this other person that they can build up for a little while, and now other people have their chance to come up with the division, because Holly Holm's is going to be a wanted opponent now. Misha Tate is still a high-ranked competitor. Kat Zingano is still out there.
Yep.
And the ever-looming cyborg question is still there too for Ronda. So, I think this loss is finally going to put things in perspective for her, and now she's going to finally start looking for legacy-defining moments now in this sport, because obviously her time is. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't say obviously her time is up, but I think her time is finally coming up in this sport. Like, we could finally see the end of the road, like getting the title back, and then putting the cyborg question to rest. And then maybe if some other challenge comes up after the cyborg thing, she does that and then walks away. But I think beyond that, there's really not much else she could do, and it's also time. Time is going to catch up with her too eventually.
Yep. I mean, I was shocked. I'm still trying to process it. I mean, you look at where I was Saturday night.
If you look at the fight, you want to break down the fight action and stuff like that. This was clearly someone that was has a level of boxing and striking that Ronda has never seen before, and Ronda was not prepared for it. There, she was off with her. She did. I don't even think she connected cleanly with any punches at all. Holly Holm looked fine, whereas by the end of the first round, Ronda Rousey was busted open and already breathing through her mouth. That is not a good sign for championship fights. She was not going to make it another 20 minutes of fighting under those conditions.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy Ty pointed out when we watched the video of the, little scuffle at the weigh, and she did not look good. You could tell there was just something off about her.
Yeah, I mean, if you really even want to go take it back that far to the weigh-ins, she looked like she had a really rough weight cut to her. She was a lot thinner than she was before. She didn't have to use the towel, which is where she had to get completely nude under it, but she definitely looked a lot just. I can't explain the word. Just gaunter more than used to. She looked very just even more vascularly defined.
Yeah.
It's evolved, and again, the whole putting the fist in the face when she went over to Joe Rogan for the interview. You could hear it in her voice. She was shaking. She was stammering and just clearly thrown off her game just by Holly Holm putting a even remotely close to her face. Shouldn't even let her get that close, but just the act of doing so riled her up to the point where she was, if the fight was right then and there, she would have gone.
Mhm.
I want to ask a question that I think's on everyone's mind, and that is her coach going to cite this as, see, I really do been had income for like 2 years because I haven't been coaching.
I think this is going to be probably result in a change in her coaching, or a way if she does it, or I wouldn't even be surprised if she goes and finds new people to work with. I mean, there's already been somebody who's been willing to reach out, from what I hear, to offer her, some boxing advice and some striking advice. That is the undefeated Floyd Money Mayweather. Boy, what I would love to do to be a fly on the wall in that training session. If that ever happened.
Really?
I don't think it's ever gonna happen. No, but
Oh hell no! Hell no!
Interesting to say the least. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to result in a shakeup in how she prepares herself for fights, especially the inevitable rematch. If she gets that, there are a lot of people that say that Ronda shouldn't even get just a straight direct rematch because MMA doesn't have the champions rematch clause that WWE conveniently has worked their way into it, where the champion
When it
automatically gets a
comes
rematch.
into when storyline purposes.
Yes,
Even
for
though
story purposes.
actually, that's more of the Jack Tunney rule, the 30-day thing. That's right. It seems
The
like the champions always get a rematch.
The champions rematch. It is a part of the Jack Tunney rule, the 30-day rule.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think once it depends on how much time she takes off. If she really takes off a full year, then I think she needs a tune-up fight and then to fight Holly Holm or whoever the champion is. Or maybe if Holly Holm's not the champion, she fights Holly Holm and then goes on to fight whoever the bantamweight champion might be at the time. All likelihood that probably will be Holly Holm, just because I don't think anybody else. If Holly Holm continues to, dissect people in that division, I don't think there's very many people. I think that can. Obviously, very few people can match boxing with and match punching and striking with her. So it's going to be tough to take that belt off of her. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? I definitely think we're going to see a much more refocused Ronda. To make a joke, I'm definitely blaming Travis Brown in this because before their relationship was a thing, she was the undefeated queen of MMA, and then one fight after the relationship becomes public, she loses. I'm blaming Travis Brown.
I'm also blaming her being on the cover of the EA UFC too.
Yes, do you want to talk about that? How the Madden curse has now shifted to EA UFC because now John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson has not won a fight since he's been on the cover of that. John Jones obviously had his much publicized fall from grace. Now Ronda has now been
oh man,
proven as mortal woman, not this mythic Amazonian creature that everyone thought she could be. Yeah, I've had this feeling that they might have announced Connor as the second male cover athlete, but they're probably waiting till after the album fight. Probably.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like curses in sports, man. I mean, my Packers have just lost 3 in a row, and we've got fucking Mike Ditka in a commercial wearing a Packers sweatshirt, so I fully blame that.
Yeah, it's weird.
We lost to the fucking Lions.
It's weird sports jinxes, man. But
yeah,
I think we'll see Ronda definitely back sooner or later.
yeah.
One person that was definitely licking his lips after this was a one Vincent Kennedy McMahon, because all he sees is 9.99 repeated over and over again, and
in his eyes, it's like if they ran like a saw, it would just say 9.99.
Just so he is waiting. I'm sure he made a phone call to some people who might know people to see what's she thinking.
Yeah, did you see the botch spot comic where Brock went to see her?
Like, plant a seed for me.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Stephanie, that's what it would. That's going to be his go-between. I'm guarantee you. Stephanie's going to be the go-between.
Yep.
That's going to be Stephanie's pet project, I think, going forward, is trying to bring Ronda into the fold for real.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try and pilfer her
I
away.
thought that was already your project.
I think actually making it an actual reality as far as keeping her a part of the program, yeah. But actually bringing her into, yeah, I think that's got to fall on Stephanie.
So now it's like for reals.
I think before when WrestleMania, when she showed up at WrestleMania, it was, oh yeah, it could be a joke, it could be a thing. She likes this. She has shown up before and doing it, and they're working together. And then over the summer, Ronda says, yeah, it's definitely something she wants to do. Now this happens, that becomes a little bit more realistic because you never know what she's gonna how when she takes time off from MMA, what her mindset's gonna be like, and if.
Well, Charlotte and Paige did interviews where they mentioned her being.
I'm sure there is an official WWE company line on Ronda Rousey. Apparently, on the internet there was a report that when JBL mentioned the fact that she got knocked out this past weekend on Monday Night Raw, or this past Monday on Monday Night Raw, he was none too happy about that. And apparently took JBL to task and told him to never mention it again, because that doesn't make Ronda look strong.
Yeah, it doesn't make her look real strong.
They want to make Ronda look real strong before they bring her into the company.
No, I was agreeing with you.
I know, and I was trying to put over a gimmick where I continuously mention Michael Hayes.
Yep.
Talking about Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Again, you looked at. Okay, go back to the show. Go back to the fight. You could tell by the end of that first round that Ronda was in the deep water, and she was in an unfamiliar place, and just off her game, and it was no surprise that a minute into the second round she misses wildly and makes a brutal mistake by just basically standing and having her back turned to Holly Holm and basically walking into a perfect side kick, perfect shin kick, right hit it, and the kick hit just the right perfect place, right under the chin, right on the neck, just ooh.
And she was out.
And again, it was all over with by there. And Holly Holm, being a true competitor, celebrated for a few seconds, and then went over to see if her opponent was okay, because it did not look like Ronda was okay. And apparently TMZ Sports has video of Ronda covering her face as she gets off the plane from Australia in Los Angeles.
Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but you can very clearly tell that it is Ronda with a pillow over her face trying to cover up. Yeah, man. Not a good weekend for her, and not a good weekend for Rousey Nation. But we're gonna talk about the big event that's happening this Sunday. That's Survivor Series next. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Were you gonna do the Iron Sheik on Nick Bockwinkle?
I didn't do it, but we do a double special on Iron Sheik, I guess.
All right.
When I was utilizing Nick Bockwinkle, you totally should have segued to me, man. It's all right. Heat of the moment, it happens. We go on the fly. Book on the fly. We're like Roman Reigns selling the wrong arm on Raw last night.
Ouch.
Oh,
yeah. How bad did he get booed?
Oh no, the Roman Reigns haters definitely had their ammunition last night when that happened, because it happens. Sometimes guys make mistakes. Some of the best have made that mistake. Roman is no different. It's unfortunate that happened in that situation with everybody paying attention. Yeah, not good.
Oh yeah, these Roman Reigns hairs, they were ready. They were fucking ready. Like
Yeah,
they just like they see him like, oh yeah, here we go, fucking go.
Oh, he's not ready. Oh, he's not ready. Look, he's clear.
They're just right on the Twitters. They're right on this one. Like it's just insane. How? Oh god.
I almost got into it with this weekend over with somebody on Instagram, of all places. Instagram. I was gonna be an Instagram, ranter. Some guy, clearly a guy. I don't know. I don't know this for sure, but went on this 2-photograph rant about why Roman Reigns is not worthy of being the next WWE champion. And
That's
I was going to formulate a response and negate each one of the 10 points that he put forth as to why Roman Reigns is not worthy of the WWE Championship. But then I came to my senses and realized that it was Instagram, and I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to be that guy. So I moved on. So yeah, Survivor Series is this weekend. We obviously the big enchilada is we will have a new WWE champion crown. We're not going to talk about that just yet. We're going to talk about the other smaller events that are going to happen, including one match that was kind of just still taking shape, even though we kind of don't know the participants. It's going to be a Team Ziggler versus, what was it? Team Barrett was the other team.
I think. I did not really. I'm really just keeping up on the tournament, and then of course we have the Divas title match. We'll get to that later, because now we're.
Yeah.
So is this gonna be? This is gonna be the Survivor Series traditional deal match, or
the annual Survivor Series?
That's what I saw, was it was going to be a traditional match, but I didn't see anything about who was going to be in it yet.
I heard it was going to be Team Dolph Ziggler, and it was basically everybody who was not in the tournament. All the faces against everybody who was in the tournament but lost. Heels. Barrett. I don't know who exactly is going to be in it, but that is what I've heard. So we really can't talk about that match just yet because we don't know the exact participants. But for the people that were wringing their hands that, we're not going to get us a traditional Survivor Series match this year.
Here you go. And now they're complaining that it's not the Undertaker match, so you can't win with these fuckers.
No, I mean, I think that's an overlying theme of this program is you can't win on the internet.
Some people are just never happy.
Unless you're Kevin Owens.
Some people are never happy unless it's Kevin Owens getting away from the interview.
Yes.
Look,
I tried to get. I'm outside the arena. I tried to get away from you people. He's just gold. Every fucking thing. Owens is one of those guys that when he talks, you shut up and you listen. It's just fucking hilarious. Hello? Did I just lose everybody?
Hello?
I don't know. Did Brandon?
Does he have his mic muted?
Sorry, I went to go get water.
Okay, but yeah. Kevin Owens, when he talks, you listen.
Was enough time to go get water. I was wrong.
Sorry, I was trying to. But yeah, unless
you're
you don't win on the internet unless you're Kevin Owens.
More of Kevin Owens trying to avoid interviews, please, because that seems to be segmental gold.
Yeah, it's one of these things that you're just seeing a guy who's like, he's laid in the back somewhere, he gets interviewed, he's like, yeah, I'm done here, and he just shoves off. Literally shoves off. He's on top of some fucking, lighting rig. And here comes fucking Tom Phillips, whatever the hell his fucking name is. And he's like, I can't get away from you people. Does he have to jump in a rocket ship and go to the moon to get away from these guys?
No, I want to see where he's gonna hide next.
It's like how Mick Foley back in 2000 he was a commissioner. Yeah. They would find the most random places for his fucking office. It'd be a concession stand one week. It'd be some back cage. It'd be some. It'd be a fucking boiler room or some shit.
Yep. Oh man, just great place. But yeah, just pure gold, man. So, we have The Undertaker, Kane, Brothers of Destruction reunited for the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker, which, I mean, I think it's mind-boggling to me when it was finally put in perspective, the fact that The Undertaker has been around for 25 years. That's older than some people that have been watching wrestling now.
I would have been 6.
Yeah.
When he
It
started.
had been about 8 months when he debuted. Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry. Just kind of blows my mind. Your entire life there's been The Undertaker. You don't know anything. You literally don't know anything else. I don't know anything else. I don't remember anything else beyond The Undertaker. And that says something.
He's one of the few that I remember from when my dad used to watch.
Exactly. And the fact that he's still just as relevant today as he was then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one for professional big holidays in professional wrestling, but this is something, an anniversary we should continuously remember, the anniversary of The Undertaker, because this is the most successful idea that Vince McMahon has ever had. Okay, sorry, second most successful idea Vince McMahon has ever had, other than WrestleMania. This is the best creative, in-ring, on-screen creative idea Vince McMahon has ever did.
I actually kind of wish Undertaker was retiring like now instead of at WrestleMania.
That's we have. That's not really set in stone yet. Although that is kind of you would think.
I hope they're springing like a surprise where just like he's done, like and he went out. But if anything, they'll
And it was talked about it. If you're watching the network this week, there's it's Undertaker Week on the WWE Network, and they had this great Legends panel with JBL, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. And they all talked about it, and I do kind of agree with what they said, where it is up to him how he wants to do it. They could do it really two ways. They could do it, obviously, where he gets a match, or he just, have a ceremony where, like, that character just goes away, and then The Undertaker, goes away.
That's true. I didn't think of the second option.
I can only imagine what they're going to do for both if that plan and when that plan ever comes to pass. I mean, for certainly when the Undertaker's career is over with, I will always remember. Well, I'm going to remember two things. I'm going to remember the great matches that he had with Shawn. Three things I'm going to remember, as I sound like the Spanish Inquisition. The great matches that he had with Shawn, including the WrestleMania 25 and the WrestleMania 26 matches. Those most notably, not talking the Hell in a Cell match was also great too, but the two at the end were two of the greatest matches of all time, I think. I'm going to think the Mick Foley Hell in a Cell match. Spectacle. I can't even describe it. And I'm going to always remember the sheer horror I had when I first saw this character. I was legitimately scared. Like Undertaker was never. I would say this. He was never my guy, but I grew to respect the man, the character, everything that the guy puts into the performance. The fact that he's probably maybe the best athlete, pound for pound, that the WWE has ever had. Certainly, probably the best big man that the wrestling industry has ever seen since Andre the Giant. Maybe even better because of what he can do athletically. So if this is the end for the Undertaker, we don't know. We always like to assume that one more WrestleMania and that would be it. But this is going to be a very special match. Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't even know who he's going to face of the Wyatt family. It's just going to be 2 members of the Wyatt family of Ray's choosing, which is weird.
Very, very weird.
Very, very weird that they do not have two set opponents going into this match. Kind of obvious the fact that obvious if you're how to predict the show, Wyatt family's not winning this match. 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. For as much as they've been drilling that home all week, there's no way that they're capping off this week with an Undertaker loss.
Hell no.
So I think that's safe to assume.
Yep.
One other match.
That's probably why they're doing the 2 match. Because if you have all 4, you know what I mean? Like, you want to save that for when.
Yes. One match that is also set in stone, which is going to slightly complicate things, because this person is also going to be involved in the semifinals of the WWE World Title Tournament. If in case you forgot that this storyline was still going on, Jack will go up against Alberto Del Rio for the United States Championship in the storyline is still going on match of the night.
Yes, and in the Swagger still works for the company. I mean,
Swagger still works here in match of the night.
Which again, I had said before, I had forgot until I saw he was at the Billings, Montana house show on Halloween. It's like, Swagger still works for the company. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if he was hurt or just they kept him off TV or what.
Probably just kept him on. I don't think he's hurt. I think they just kept him off TV because they had nothing for him. Creative has nothing for you, Jack.
Creative had nothing for him until now, which I just think again he's just being used for the ascension of Alberto Del Rio again, or the reestablishment of Alberto Del Rio, and
so Del Rio retains.
This match is really easy to predict. Alberto Del Rio wins. Do you, Leslie? I think you agree with that.
Yes,
you do. See, exactly. I can speak for you. All right, now moving on to what
the fun part.
The fun part, because this was a much conversed, talked about segment on Raw this Monday. Yesterday, as we're recording this on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to describe it, because the fact that the Divas contract signing was closing Raw, a lot of people had a problem with.
Really? It's 2015.
Fuck off. like come on. This is. Are we really gonna complain about where they put the Divas contract signing? Like, we're already in a weird transitional period where we don't have a WWE champion to close the show. They had already done all 4 tournament matches, so the final 4 had been set already. There was nothing really to do. All the other major storylines had been really wrapped up. The New Day had already continued to blow our mind away.
To be awesome.
Continued.
1 year of the New Day.
1 year, the New Day anniversary. Which it's hard to believe that this gimmick has been going on for 1 year.
Yeah.
It just seemed like yesterday that these guys got together and we were seeing these. We didn't, again, when the New Day first debuted, we didn't know what we were going to get, but I really think we should call it the New Day's debut is when they went heel and the gloves came off and these guys.
And then they stopped. When they realized, okay, these guys are not getting cheered, turn them heel, and then it was fucking off to the races. Yeah. Don't boo the president. I still love that line.
Again, we got clued into something that I had been saying all along: the innate charisma of Big E Langston.
Yes.
Little E, Pappy E.
Yeah. So back to this point at hand, because we have
do we want? Sorry, before, because I totally forgot about that, because I mentioned that the New Day are wrestling before we got into this New Day segment. The New Day are taking on the Usos.
Usos are back together. Okay.
The Usos are back. Yeah, that's a thing that's happening.
All right.
Yeah, again, just because the fact that people don't remember that the Usos are back and the Usos are wrestling in Pete's WWE Tag Team Championships, lead me to believe that the Usos don't have a chance. Maybe that's not saying that the Usos are never going to take the titles off of them. They just don't stand a chance yet.
Yes, I would agree with that. They will take the titles off them, but not yet.
At some point in time, maybe. But at least it's not happening this week. New Day wins, LOL. And we will
yes.
continue to spread unicorn magic forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because New Day rocks.
Yes.
And you can actually buy New Day socks, too.
Oh, God.
I was so excited until I saw the socks, and I was kind of like, oh. I kind of thought they'd be cooler.
Oh, no, I want those. I want those New Day socks, and I definitely want a New Day t-shirt, because those Need You t-shirts are just...
They are fantastic.
Pure awesome. Distilled into t-shirt form.
Yes.
So, the super-duper controversial segment that we...
Oh, boy. So...
on Monday Night Raw, that really wasn't even all that controversial at all, I thought, but...
But apparently, if you're someone on the internet, you lost your fucking mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. So I wasn't watching Raw, but I see this, and I'm like, but that's the point. Paige is a heel. She has to get heat.
Yeah, if you're unaware of what happened, maybe if you haven't watched Raw by the time you watch the show, I don't know why that's happening, but I'm going to explain the situation anyway. Paige had a bit of a... Well, I'm going to call it a CM Paige moment, a bit of a pipe bomb moment, when she mentioned the death of Reed Flair as in a negative manner, and used it as a way to needle Charlotte during the promo, and in a manner that visibly distraught Charlotte on screen and a very real and I believe personal way. So much so that they actually kind of just threw the segment to the four winds. I think the segment kind of got out of control over there, and maybe someone stepped in and ended it prematurely. But there was much gnashing of teeth of whether or not Paige should have went there.
In an age where heels are too afraid to get fucking heat.
No,
and it's not like any of that type of go away heat. We don't want to see you anymore. This is actual someone wants to see this bitch get killed heat. Okay.
Yeah, get her comeuppance. And look, I honestly believe that we all know that the WWE and Monday Night Raw is intensely scripted, like to the minute, probably scripted, and especially the promos and what people say. I just don't believe that one Paige went off the reservation by mentioning this, or Paige crossed some sort of line
without it getting multiple approvals.
Without multiple people verifying this and saying this, including Charlotte herself, saying no, it's okay. I have no problem if you mention this. Yes, I might get emotional, but I'm going to get emotional about my brother when people mention it either way.
Yep. So
I have no problem with the WWE using this for storyline, because...
And now here's the thing,
because I'm sure Ric Flair has no problem with this being used as storyline, because I'm sure Ric Flair will be aware that people talking about Reed like that might prevent it from happening again to somebody.
I don't have a problem with the concept of it. It's just that they it came out of nowhere. It was really weird how they did it.
That's perfect though. That's why I love
it. No. I mean, over the weeks, it was like they weren't really doing much, doing much with it, and then it was a little like, oh, we have a really great idea. We're gonna bring it. I don't know.
We have to generate interest in this match, really,
and we're gonna do it this way. And so to me, it just felt kind of lazy, and then combined with how it made me uncomfortable how visibly distraught Charlotte looked. And so it wasn't I'm okay with the concept of them using it. It's just the actual execution. I was like,
and the aftermath. I mean, you could maybe say Charlotte might have...
Everyone from people on the internet to other podcasters to fucking Reed Flair's mother chimed in because she didn't know it was coming, but
even Lana has now chimed in. Lana has now made
Lana chimed in for no reason.
Just randomly. But here's the thing. When heels are afraid to get heat, they're not effective heels. Here we have a situation where this was a real part that got injected into wrestling. And that's what makes it so good. It's real. There's an element of reality in this.
Yeah, no, I actually kind of believe now. Like, if I was dumb, sorry. There's actually some level of believability to the fact that Paige might actually want to kill Charlotte, or Charlotte might actually want to kill Paige by the end of this match as revenge for making light of her brother's death. And if you what she actually said, if you haven't heard it, she says, "Apparently, your little brother didn't have that much fight in him." I mean, of the things she could have said, that's a fairly tame thing. She did not mention.
She could have said way worse.
She didn't mention the circumstance in which he died, nor would that have ever been brought up, because it's a PG show, and obviously they don't want to mention people dying of drug overdoses.
Right. But
So
here's the thing: if you're gonna now give, for those that are really giving WWE shit for this, they kind of open themselves up to it, because this is a company that, how many tasteless things have they done over the years? Even the last 10 years, we've had the Dr. Heine segment, we've had Katie Vick, we've had Daniel Bryan choking Justin Roberts with his own tie. So you're gonna
Daniel Bryan got fired for that,
right?
So
compared to something like this, it's like how when they've blacklisted Hulk Hogan, Sunny goes on her Facebook and says some stupid shit, but it's like, are we going to remove her from the Hall of Fame? We're going to blacklist her? No, even though she's already, but that was well before this, what she said. But it's like, you can't. You've opened yourselves
up. First of all, they don't have Sunny merchandise. Like,
right.
You can't buy. There's not a page of Sunny themed memorabilia.
Right.
So,
I don't like to go by past behavior like that, because by that measurement, then you're saying we should never like the whole Confederate flag controversy about it being on a government building. You would say, well, because it's been here, we should never change our position on it. And so I don't like blanketly saying, well, they've done this before.
Well, see, now, has WWE said anything about this, or?
That's why I believe that this is all storyline, and
it was definitely
it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
See, if they turned around and had it. See, and what kind of bugs me is, you bring, which is very tame, but like, you can't go on the network, watch that episode of Raw where the Nexus invaded, and they don't have that clip of Justin Roberts getting choked with his own tie. Which bugs me just because it's edited out, for one, but two, you can't really say that, oh, you're not, see, them, they're not going to say anything about this, but, Daniel Bryan got fired over that 5 years ago. You can't have it both ways. If that makes any, sense.
It makes sense, but I don't think the situations are that similar. I think someone mentioning someone's death and then someone choking somebody with a tie.
It's not like they haven't done something like this before. They brought, after Paul Bearer passed, they brought that into the Undertaker CM Punk feud, which was with the blessing of William Moody, the son, Percy Pringle's sons, excuse me.
For Christ's sakes, they made a fake angle about the Big Show's father dying.
They had the Big Boss Man show up and chain the casket to his fucking squad car, and Big Show was dragged on the thing. I mean, Big Boss Man came out after it happened and read this sympathy card, which was just low. But that was
there's all sorts of precedents for the WWE going there.
Right.
So this isn't outside. We shouldn't be that surprised that they used something like this in their storyline. That being said, I don't think Charlotte's run as Divas champion is quite done with yet. I think this feud with Paige has a little bit longer still to go. We haven't even yet begun to see Sasha Banks get worked into it. So I think Charlotte wins, even though I really want to see Paige win to become a 3-time Divas champion. Charlotte wins.
I think Charlotte's gonna win.
Yep.
Nick, Charlotte wins.
Charlotte. Yeah, there's.
Yep. Lockstep today, guys. Jeez.
Yeah, that might end right here because tournament.
It's gonna happen, folks. We finally have the final 4 competitors.
Final 4, baby.
That will all be that all could be WWE champion by the end of the night. In the first semifinal, we have Alberto Del Rio
to make Roman Reigns look real strong.
Alberto Del Rio gets the illustrious job of making Roman Reigns look really strong.
Yeah.
And in the match that will set the internet ablaze, Kevin Owens against Dean Ambrose.
Oh boy. The zoo enthusiast versus the titty master.
Yes. I don't know if the internet can handle
boy.
The Owens Ambrose match.
Boy.
I really think that this match is going to break Twitter. Yeah.
Kim Kardashian, go fuck yourself.
This match is going to cause Twitter to be very slow. I don't know if I have a prediction, so that's why I think when to this.
See, I think we're all in agreement that Roman wins. LOL.
No. Here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna each give the prediction to both semifinals, and then the winner, and then we'll talk about it from there. So here's what I think is gonna happen. I will go first. Obviously, I think Alberto Del Rio is not going to wrestle 3 times in one night. Although I wouldn't be surprised by it. Don't think
he could.
He absolutely could. I don't think it's going to happen. So Roman Reigns wins. LOL.
Yep, Roman wins.
Now in this second match is where it gets a little bit tricky because it is so hard for me to choose because I am tremendous. I am huge fans of both these guys, and I find these guys are both super duper entertaining and are 2 of the best workers all around in the company right now.
Yep.
And it really absolutely pains me that I have to pick one
over the other.
For purposes of this discussion, I have to go with one, and I'm going to go with Dean Ambrose. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not particularly confident of that decision. I just think Ambrose has been here longer. Ambrose might win. But I also could see Kevin Owens winning this match as well, and I will not be upset at all if Kevin Owens wins. In fact, maybe I actually will be happier if Kevin Owens wins this match, because I honestly cannot wait for Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, but I think that's what I'm going with. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens winning the match. Change it. So, Owens, Reigns, Roman Reigns wins, but, here's the but. Sheamus cashes in. It's going to happen, folks. We're going to have a ginger WWE champion.
Again.
That's my prediction. Leslie, you seem to be disagreeing with me.
So I have been. No, I don't really see Sheamus cashing in. I still see him as losing.
So you're saying we're still going to see?
Sheamus, I see Sheamus winning if he cashes in. If he cashes it in before they declare a champion.
Well, I mean, and like making it like a triple threat match kind of thing.
No, I mean like literally him being like, "Hey, there's no one here. Can't I just like be like, oh, there's no one to wrestle me. I get the belt."
I don't know.
It's the only way I see Sheamus.
I think they would have done that already.
I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm saying that is the most likely scenario I see Sheamus winning the belt in. And I don't see that scenario as likely at all.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, no, it's really super duper far fetched, but okay.
Yeah, I just don't see him.
So okay, so you disagree with me there. So all right, what do you think is going to happen?
So the one I'd bet on is that Kevin Owens has some sort of alignment, with Triple H, and maybe the New Day assists him with the distraction or something like that, and he wins. I don't really see it happening, but I wouldn't completely rule it out as Roman Reigns wins the championship. The really, really don't see it happening, but you never know option would be Dean Ambrose turns heel and wins the championship. And from the Cane's TBA and Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose and TBA files, Albert Del Rio wins. Personally, I like to see Cesaro cash in at the last minute and do a heel turn. And then when everyone's like, what? Have him be like,
How would Cesaro cash in? Because
right. So let's say Triple H comes out and he's like, yeah, so Roman, you're not gonna wrestle this match. Cesaro's in. Cesaro wins.
That would be said dangerous precedent, and that would be a dangerous abusive. That'd be a Vince McMahon would have to intervene level.
That's the one I would like to see happen. That
won't happen. Okay. Nick, what do you got for me?
Roman obviously winning. I don't see Del Rio going to the finals unless they'd be making it too obvious, that we're gonna get some insane. What? I don't see Irish Foghorn Leghorn cashing in unless he's gonna cash in and lose. Honestly,
I'm right 2 weeks. If I'm right 2 weeks in a row, all I'm gonna say, none of you are ever going to hear the end of it.
Nope. So, but between the Zoo Enthusiast and the Titty Master, now
so hard. Again, this match is going to break the internet.
Right, because do you go with, because I guess in an interview, like one of Triple H's little interviews with Michael Cole, he said, somebody is crazy enough to take me up on my offer. So is that subtle, a bit of a hint that Dean Ambrose is going to turn on Roman? Because you should never trust, it's wrestling, you never trust your best friend, hell, not even trust your own brother, Or do we get the biggest, this, I think would be the bigger...
This would break the internet too if Kevin Owens wins, because you would get everybody in their mother who had doubted this guy before, and now this guy is the WWE champion a year,
not even a year, not even 1 year.
You know who's the only person who has had such a meteoric rise to the top in the WWE? The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar. He's in that stratosphere. The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So do we go with
It's huge. And then again, you would have told me 3 years ago, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, would be your WWE champion. I would have said you're high.
What the fuck are you smoking? And can I have some?
You need to pass that shit right there.
Yes. Oh, so. Oh god, they give us I love how they give us the one that's really blatantly obvious, and then they give us the one is like, how do you fucking call this? Because that will break the fucking internet if Kevin Owens wins the WWE World Heavyweight title.
I don't know. That's what I'm leaning towards.
I don't know if the internet could handle, or if WWE could handle the traffic that they'll get, because there'll be as just as many positive people as there will be negative. Why did you do this?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, this guy's so fat. He's fat. The Scott Steiner people. I don't like to see people that are fat, boring, lazy people like your Melissa Joan Harts.
Who is quickly and swiftly blocked.
But yeah, by the way, thank you very much for giving us the title of our episode, by the way, Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, the gift that just keeps on giving.
I just blocked Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes. Hey, that's the second time in the last month he's given us an episode title.
I have a feeling it will not be
the last.
Not be the last.
Oh god. So the only way I see Irish Foghorn Leghorn cashing in is, so I'm going to say Owens beats Ambrose. So we're going to get Roman and Ambrose in the final. So we're all of a sudden going to get this set up like we had at WrestleMania, where both guys are going to be knocked out. Here comes Sheamus, cashes in. It's a triple threat. But Sheamus ends up losing to Kevin Owens. So you don't beat Roman. You still make him look really strong, but you don't beat him.
It's gonna be interesting.
I can see that happening.
It's.
I don't think it will happen, but it could.
I think that's what's going to happen. Now, been known to be wrong in the past, especially when picking UFC main events. That's been abundantly clear with me and my friends for years. I cannot pick a UFC main event to save my life. But
So you generally just go with the exact opposite of what you say. So don't root for Jose Aldo this day. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But now, if you remember, before WrestleMania, I think we were all in agreement. I had said by this time next week, we will see Seth Rollins, that Money to Make will be cash, and we'll see Seth Rollins as the WWE World Champion.
We'll have to go back and,
to that episode, but I'm pretty sure we
have to go back through the annals of our history. But man, I think it's gonna be an interesting show. It's obviously when a new champion is crowned, they're expecting many eyeballs to be glued to it. My eyeballs will certainly be glued to it this Sunday.
Yep. On the WWE Network for $9.99.
Just
$9.99.
Yep. Cheap pop. All right. So Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Yeah. Iron Sheik tweet. Yeah. Let me get the. All right. This is what I'm trying. All right. Get ready. Beautiful edit point.
Dun 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 dun. Bye.
Fuck him! I talked to him! I wanna know, are you the man or are you a fucking piece of shit? No good motherfucker! Fucking bullshit!
Alright, so before we get into the comedic Iron Sheik tweet of the week, do have a very serious Iron Sheik tweet of the week because, the Nick Bockwinkle loss affected the wrestling world so hard. All over the places was felt, and no person was probably hit harder than the greatest living Iranian American. He had this to say about Nick Bockwinkle over 2 tweets, and I'm going to read them both, and then read you my hilarious one afterwards. God bless the Nick Bockwinkle, one of my first teacher, excellent shooter, excellent performer. Rest in peace, brother. I drive all across the Midwest with the Nick Bockwinkle. He teach me everything. He's so smart. He's so great, man. I'm going to miss him. So that puts Nick Bockwinkle's career pretty much in perspective with that. And now,
sound effect because
now we have because that's profound moments that it's not
the
all,
world's greatest Iranian philosopher wrestler.
It's not all calling people jabronis and making fun of Virgil. Occasionally the Iron Sheik does hit it home, but Iron Sheik did have other take on the great events of this week, or the notable events of this week. Really shouldn't call it great. What ISIS really wants from me is to suplex them, break their fucking neck, put them in the camel clutch, and make them humble. That's it, ISIS, or Dash, as you want to be referred to, or as everybody wants you to be referred to, as not to piss you off. You've upset the greatest living Iranian American, and he's going to suplex you, break your neck, and make you humble. Haktua! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Fucking bullshit!
Yeah. All right. So, you like this show? We're gonna do some plugs. I'm gonna go. You can go first, Nick.
All right. YouTube, The Gaming Pegasus 187. I'm on Facebook at Nick Horaceck. I'm in the Wrestling/MMA Revolution Facebook group, posting all our wonderful news and stuff for the week. You know, I'm all over the place. I'm on Instagram, Wii U, Xbox Live, Pegasus 187. Supercard, same goddamn thing. I'm all over the place. I was at a bar Saturday night when I found out Ronda Rousey got knocked out, and I basically posted on Facebook in one of the posts in the group said, "Let me sober the fuck up and process it," because I was already pretty drunk at that point.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Leslie has nothing to promote.
Nope.
Nope. Don't try and follow her on Twitter. Don't try and follow her on Facebook. In fact, do not even try and message her in any way, shape, or form. She will not want to talk to you. Guaranteed.
Don't hit on her either.
Definitely don't try and do that. That's a complete non-starter. She's a lesbian. That's why.
No one ever believes that. I try so hard to tell people that, and no one ever believes me.
Oh, man. Anyway, so if you like this show, obviously you like professional wrestling, what you should do, obviously not this weekend, well, probably this weekend. You probably absolutely could find someone running this weekend because there are some promoters that are brave enough to even run on Sundays. Go out there and support independent wrestling in your local establishment because I guarantee you, no matter where you live on this earth, in Africa, there are professional wrestlers. In Australia, in Antarctica, there are probably, if there was people, there are independent penguin wrestlers. There are independent... Not being silly now. Far too silly. There are people trying to live their dream in your local community that really only just require just you bringing your kids and signing autographs. Because you never know, you might sign an autograph of somebody that's nobody today, and 2 months from now, 3 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they're the next big WWE superstar, and you can say you knew them when. So again, support independent wrestling. It is where the grassroots of this sport really lives, and the future of the sport really is.
Yep.
So that's all for me. If you like this show, you like me talking about things, you can listen to me on Premier Pals. That's on the Happy Pope Gaming channel. You could hear me on my Twitch channel. That's Brando, twitchtv.com/Brando Calrissian 420. Gotta throw some numbers in there. I'm going to be playing some games this week. Probably playing more Battlefront. Probably going to play some Game of Thrones. All sorts of stuff coming up. You can follow me on the Twitter, @BrandonAllHope. I tweet sometimes. I talk to people. So for Leslie Joy, for Nick Horaceck, for the absent Dave Wade, who I'm pretty sure is not in jail, even though he did have a dust up with the Bristol PD last week. The Bristol Brawler always lives.
Yes. Go, whatever, Hippodrome, independent wrestling in the UK. Go check it out. I'll throw that in there. I don't remember. Yeah. But he's there. It. Yeah, there's independent wrestling all over the place.
Sell it, brother. Anyway, for our friend who is still living in somewhere, Michael Burham, for CM Page, for
the beautiful CM Page,
for the memory of Nick Bockwinkle, for everybody that was affected by the tragedies of Paris. I'm Brandon Liggan saying good night. Go forth and spread beauty and light. Peace, love, and humptiness. Play my damn theme song and let's go home.
All right, fans, that was action. Gentlemen, I hate to interrupt your private conversation.
Don't. We are sick and tired. I don't want to stand out here and yell and scream like a lot of my cohorts do. But it's very simple. Mad Dog, Wally, Carbo. He is the most slick-tongued person in the world when you're talking to him about money, but he comes out here and sounds so homey, it's beautiful. Why does everybody blame Mr. Heenan for what they cannot do, for what they cannot accomplish? And then they start to make all sorts of provisions. What it comes down to is this. These people try, and I think because they fail consistently that Stanley Blackburn and the championship committee and Mr. Wally Carbo and promoters from throughout the world are so prejudiced. I would imagine they are sick and tired of me being the heavyweight champion. But it's, sorry gentlemen, you have to respect what is being done and taking place. I am the man. But what do they want to do? They want to stick me back into the ring with Mad Dog Vachon. Now here's a man that, as far as he could be concerned, if he lost the match but injured me and I could not wrestle and had to forfeit the championship, there's nothing he would do more than sit around and smile. He would just be happy as a lark. But I think it's pathetic and it's a sad situation that I am being forced into this, and at the same time I'm being forced into this, what do? They want to blame everything on Mr. Heenan. You're incompetent, gentlemen.
You know what happens. Pretty soon they're going to start blaming me for the great year the Minnesota Gophers had, or the Vikings are having. You're going to start blaming me for everything. Mr. Vachon, and I use it very loosely, he says he's got something in store for me that'll shake me up.
Shock you.
The whole wrestling world. What could you do to me? You got a mind like a mutt that's been hit by 4 cars, and you're going to try to battle minds with me? What could you have in store? Nothing, pal. Nothing.
I thank you very much. Some kind of a match indeed. Bobby Heenan, Nick Bockwinkle, as I privately told Hulk Hogan, perhaps the darkest time is just before dawn. What a big match. Very controversial in the opinion of many.
My entire career, one of the most frequent questions asked is, what was your toughest match? And until recently, there were several. But I can stand here unequivocally and tell the entire sports world that the match you just witnessed was my toughest. I felt like I was knocked out a couple of different times, only to come back from the stars and the blurriness. But I want you to know one thing. If Hulk Hogan, because you have left, you felt you humiliated yourself, you failed to get the job done, that's right. Because you did not get the job done. You knew you were going down when I had the sleeper, and you intentionally, right in front of 28,000 people in Stanley Blackburn, threw me over the top rope so you would not lose face. And you have now picked up your marbles and you have gone home.
You know, he makes a big speech. I'm never going to wrestle here again. I'm this, I'm that. No one knows where he is. They can't find him. Right now, his mother's probably on her hands and knees trying to coax him out from under the bed. Floor's all wet from tears. He doesn't answer the phone. No mail to his home. No one can find him. He's hiding. Well, I don't blame you for hiding, Hogan. You were embarrassed. You came out there and gave 200%. You hit this man with everything you had, and you still did not leave the ring the champion of the world, and you never will, Hogan. You did the best thing you could have done was take off and hide, and I'm glad, and I'm going to speak for the family. I am personally glad we've seen the last of the incredible Hulk Hogan.
Well, let me tell all the fine wrestling fans one last word. Hogan, I do now know something. Having gone through hell and the toughest match of my career with you, considered the most promising man in the world in this sport, I now know how to beat you. And if I ever get my hands on you again, if you think you were humiliated before because of what you failed to accomplish, you will be humiliated even more. Because I will take and accomplish the one thing that nobody else has done. I will defeat you, pin you, and beat you.
You better stay hiding, Hogan.
I thank you very much, gentlemen. Bobby Heenan, Nick Bockwinkle, comments.